Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope y'all are having a great day today. So today we're going to be checking out the new HAUS Labs by Lady Gaga Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. So this is a medium coverage foundation with a natural finish, and it has fermented arnica in it, and that helps to reduce redness and even the skin tone, and it protects from environmental stress. So per the usual, we're going to be doing an 8-hour oily skin wear test, and then of course at the end of the wear test I will let y'all know if I think that y'all should try this out. So let's jump right into it. This packaging feels like it's really expensive. It feels pretty weighted, but it's $45, which I think is a pretty good price for a brand at Sephora, and it's available in 51 shades. I'm in the shade 360 medium warm. So from what I can tell, they do their undertones similar to what MAC does. So if you have like a rosy or peach undertone, you would be considered warm. And if you have a yellow or olive undertone, you would be considered cool. So this one is the shade 360 medium warm, and it has a rosy peach undertone to it. And it looks like it might be just a little bit too light for me. I maybe could have gone a shade darker, but I think I can work with it. So I'm going to be applying this with my Morphe E63 brush for today. And I have just my skincare on because I don't like testing out foundations with primers. So it's just my skincare and my sunscreen. So yeah, that does look like it might be a little too light, but let's see. So I can definitely offset it with some other things, but maybe I could have gone like one shade deeper with the same undertone. So it's supposed to give a natural finish, and I think it's doing that so far. And it's also supposed to be a medium coverage, which I also think it's doing that as well. It's blending out pretty nicely, and I feel like I'm getting a good amount of radiance, but that could also be my sunscreen underneath. I don't really notice like any type of like blurring or anything, but the foundation doesn't claim to do that. It's really more so claiming to reduce redness and like even out your skin tone. So it is definitely doing that. So that's what it looks like on the first half of my face versus no foundation. So let me go ahead and put some on this side, and then we'll see if we can build it up at all. Okay, so this is what one layer looks like, and it definitely evened out my skin tone because it did cover up like a lot of the blemishes that I have on my cheeks. So I think it definitely is a natural finish with a medium coverage, but nothing is like wowing me so far. But let's go and see if we can build it up at all. But I do feel like I am already getting medium coverage, but let's see what a second layer looks like. I definitely prefer brushes to blend out my foundation, but I don't know, for some reason I feel like I wish I had a sponge right now. I don't have a wet sponge near me, so I'm just going to stick with the brush, but for some reason I just feel like this would blend out better with a sponge. So the foundation does not claim to be buildable, and I feel like with that second layer, to me it looks like the same as the first layer. So I mean, it's building up nicely, and that it's not like caking up when you put more foundation on, but it's not building up as in giving me any more coverage. So it's supposed to give a natural finish. I feel like it's more like a radiant finish. Like, I don't think that's my skincare. I think it's the foundation that's giving me like a glow, like a dew almost. It looks radiant to me. It doesn't look bad, but I feel like it's more radiant than it is natural. So this is what the makeup looks like all blended out. So this shade works for me, but I do wish it was just like a smidge deeper. But you know, I can definitely wear this shade. I definitely feel like this is a radiant finish, not so much a natural finish, but it looks nice. But nothing wow on me so far, but it is a nice looking foundation. I am going to quickly put my concealer on, and then I will show y'all how I'm going to set it, and let's see how much of the radiance we can take away with our setting powder. Okay, so I'm I'm going to set the foundation. So I put my concealer on and set my under eye. So I do have concealer like right along here, so it's kind of overlapping the foundation, but I think that y'all can really make out like how glowy this is. It's definitely more of like a glowy finish that I wasn't expecting. So I'm going to set it with my Kosas powder. This is the one that I always use because this one sets makeup in place, but it doesn't really alter the finish of the foundation too much. So when I'm setting a like really glowy type of foundation like this, I like to use a more precise brush just so that I can make sure I'm really pushing the powder in to really set the foundation, because I'm working with oily skin. So we'll do one side so we can compare. All right, so I have my setting powder on this side, so naturally it toned down the dewiness or like the radiance a little bit, but I still feel like it's kind of glowy over here. But this has setting powder versus no powder over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the rest of the face. Okay, so that's what it looks like, all nice and set. I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup off camera. I'll come back and give y'all my first impressions, and then we will start the wear test. Okay, so my first impression on this new HAUS Labs foundation, I think it's a nice looking foundation, and I do feel like this is probably the best shade for me. I think it looks nice. I am a little concerned about how the wear test is gonna go because it is more glowy than I was expecting. So I don't know how this is gonna play out on my skin type, but we shall see. It's nice, but like I said earlier, nothing wowing me so far. It doesn't really look like anything that's like any better than some of the other foundations that I have in my collection. Just, it looks like a standard, you know, foundation, but it's nice, you know what I mean? So let's get started with the wear test. Let me know in the comments what your first impressions are, but let's get started with the wear test. It's a little after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so per the usual, we're going to shoot for 8 hours. I'll check in midday, and then at the end of the video, I will let y'all know my final thoughts. Okay guys, quick update. It is 5 o'clock, so we're about halfway through the wear test, and this is what my face looks like so far. And I don't think it looks that bad. Like, I was expecting it to be a lot more shiny than this, but I don't think it looks bad at all. But I am still gonna go ahead and refresh my makeup now. So I'm just taking a clean tissue and I'm just blotting off in the T-zone area, and then I'm going to repowder. But I will say that so far I'm liking how it's wearing considering how glowy it was earlier. So I'm taking my same Kosas powder and I'm just going to repowder right in the T-zone. This is the same area where I just blotted off the excess oil. Okay, so that's what we're looking like after refreshing. So I'm gonna go for another 4 hours or so, and then I will see y'all a little bit later on and we will wrap things up. Okay, y'all, please bear with me because it is 3 o'clock in the morning. So we had a scare over here a few hours ago, but everything is fine now, all is well. But I had to rush out of here a few hours ago, and I just got home maybe 15 minutes ago. I'm very tired, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up as quickly as I can. So my final thoughts on this new HAUS Labs foundation: I don't think that I would recommend it for those of us with oily skin. I think it's better suited for someone who has a drier skin type or maybe normal skin. I think it's just too much of a dewy finish for oily skin, so you can't really tell too much on my face because I've been wearing a mask for the past like 5 hours, so it's like really dissipated on the bottom half of my face. But after I did that check-in midway through, my face got shiny again after like maybe an hour or so. So I feel like this is one of those foundations that's just not going to stay like all that fresh looking for very long before you have to refresh it. And I think because it has such a dewy finish, I think that people with a drier skin type or normal skin would like that aspect of it better. So if you like a foundation that is very skin-like, this might also be a good option. But when I say skin-like, it does even out the skin tone very well, but that's pretty much like all it does. So it doesn't really enhance the look of your skin at all, aside from evening out the skin tone. Like, it doesn't blur anything, it doesn't really help to smooth anything out. So in that regard, it is very skin-like. But if you like something that kind of like enhances the look of your skin a little bit more, I don't really think that this is going to do it. It's really just going to even things out, and that's pretty much it. And of course, you know, give you some coverage. Now remember, if you have oily skin and you are still thinking about trying this out, just Just remember that I don't test out foundations with primers or like overly mattifying powders. I don't like to use anything that alters the finish or the performance of the foundation. So if you do like using those products along with your foundation and you have oily skin, you might get a better wear out of it than I did today. But I have tried a lot of other foundations that wear a lot better on me than this one without having to use a primer or like a very mattifying powder on top. So just keep that in mind. So those are my final thoughts on this new HAUS Labs foundation. So I really hope y'all enjoyed the video today. If you did, let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed before you head out, and I will see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.